Oh man, did Jerome Powell just rug pull the markets? What is just going on, guys? We are literally just come off the live stream covering Jerome Powell's speech, and markets are now lower than they were going into the meeting. Look at the vertical yellow line here. I'm on the 1 minute chart. You can see Bitcoin and the Nasdaq on the right hand side both exploding as Jerome Powell started speaking, and then once he got to the pinnacle, it just started to give it all up. We're now lower than we had initially started. Bitcoin was as far up as a couple of percent. It's now just holding up 0.3% up on the day today. What is going on? What did Jerome Powell say? We're going to cover that off and a lot more. Smash some likes. Don't forget to subscribe. So basically, Jerome Powell, if we track back to Wednesday, came out and he was really dovish, right? He was really dovish, and markets responded by starting to rally. Then what happened on Thursday was we saw some company earnings miss to the downside, including many of the tech names in the Nasdaq, right? Amazon, Google, etc. Then on Friday, we got the shock jobs report. Now, the jobs report was a shock from the headline figure, but I explained in my video on that day, on Friday, why this could be an okay thing, because as long as we don't get a wage price spiral, then it's okay if the job market's healthy. We'll come on to that a little bit later. But what we have seen in previous times, which is why it was so important that we covered off this in the live stream as well, was that Jerome Powell used meetings like this as an opportunity to wind the markets back in when they get a little bit too excited, okay? Now, this was one of those cases where markets did get excited after he spoke. But as you can see, markets are now tumbling. What happened? Well, Jerome Powell initially came out and he didn't rug pull markets initially. He didn't say anything, but markets are still falling. In fact, Jerome Powell had a few ways he could have played this. He could have kept it really aggressive and rug pull markets and took back his words, right? And he could have said, no, there's plenty to go. The jobs report was awful. When I made the decision and I gave that statement, I did not have the jobs report. Now that the jobs report was such a blowout, it's bad. We need to get the interest rates back up. He didn't say that. He also didn't even play it neutral. Neutral would have been not repeating some of those dovish comments he said on Wednesday. He did, in fact, repeat some of those words. He did, in fact, say he's happy that the disinflation process has begun and that the labor market is holding strong. So he's doubling down on the message that don't worry about the headline labor figure. Yes, focus on the wage growth because that can contribute to the wage price spiral and therefore inflation. If you don't understand this, we covered this off in Friday's video. Just drop back a few videos and go watch that one on Friday where I explain the wage price spiral and how that could be bad. But just focusing on the supply and demand of jobs, it's okay. And he focused on the fact, and he said that demand for jobs was about 5 million greater than the supply. So we have a healthy economy, and that's what's driving the labor. But he expects inflation to come down. The disinflation process has started, and he said it'll be well into 2024 by the time that we see inflation come back down to that 2% level. Interestingly, let's get a refresh here of the Fed rate monitor tool because it's important to see how the markets have reacted, and they've not changed their stance here at all. 93% of the market still expects 25 basis points. You've got a few outliers here, 6% of the market expecting him to go back up to 50 basis points. Now, it's important to remember, in 7 days' time, 14th of February, mark your calendars, we're going to have the CPI release. We will cover that off together. Make sure you've subscribed, you've got your notification bell on, and you're in our Discord and our Telegram. It's all free. Discord, Telegram, Twitter. Make sure you're in all three of those. The links are in the description. I put different stuff on each of those platforms, and you don't want to miss any of the alpha in there. It's completely free. Definitely check it out. Speaking of free, ijaz.uk/TA, completely free TA course. A lot of you still haven't taken advantage of that, and I promise you it won't be free forever, so definitely take advantage of that. And we are working on an advanced one, so I'm expecting you have all to have worked on this one. I'll then remove it and we'll move on to the advanced one. So work with me here on this curriculum so that we can plug on. Let's now jump back into the charts. What are we seeing here? Well, Bitcoin, initially, look at this crazy candlestick. This is the 4-hourly candle, which includes obviously what we just had. This ran up as high as 23,400 roughly when Jerome Powell spoken. Now it's gone back down. So we need to watch carefully what happens here. I'm going to show you another version of the chart, which is our ascending broadening wedge. At one point while he was speaking, it was a big green engulfing candle, bullish engulfing candle. If you've watched the TA course, you'll know what I'm talking about. That's a bullish sign. But we did not close the candle there. The bears came back in and the price is being pushed to the downside. Be very, very careful of this breaking to the downside. If it does break down to the downside, you're looking at anywhere from 21,600 down to 21,000 flat as your support. The support comes in from this period here. Okay, so it could be a nasty collapse down to the downside, and that would be a proper pullback, and that is where I'll be looking to add and do my DCA. This is not a serious pullback. Everyone's talking about this fall here from February the 2nd of the last 5 days. That's not a major pullback. For me, that's a micro pullback. right? And proper pullback is coming down to 21,000. At that point, I'll be looking at my Bitcoin and Ethereum bags and my altcoins to see if I want to be loading up. Similarly with altcoins, right? Altcoins were running. Phantom, whilst Jerome Powell was speaking, ran all the way up to the highs here of 57 cents again. And now it's dropped back down to 53 cents. Okay, so the market's doing a complete flip-flop. It doesn't know what's going on. Let's also look at the traditional markets as well. S&P down 0.5, NASDAQ down 0.3, and the Dow Jones down 0.7 almost here. So nothing huge to write home about. It wasn't a major rug pull. He came in very dovish, I think. He came in very reasonable. He didn't use the opportunity to put the markets in check. So the market's deciding on its own terms that it just wants to cool down a little bit and not get too excited. That said, it's still holding up so far, the time of recording, who knows by the time I've uploaded this video, to be a green day. Bitcoin 0.5% and some altcoins moving. Like I said, Phantom now up only 2.6% relatively. Another big day for Algorand, it's worth mentioning. Algorand has really struck together a nice set of 4-hourly candles here. Here on Tuesday, really nice big move here, creating its higher highs and higher lows. Lovely uptrend on Algorand. But look at what we've got here. I need to zoom out to the daily to remind you guys that we're at a very important level for Algorand. Okay, I was sharing this with the team. You can see we're at this key horizontal resistance level, which it needs to reclaim at 28 cents. It won't be easy, but if it can do so and retest it, it could set itself up for its next move towards 37. Now, here's what's interesting. So as you can see, Phantom achieved its bullish golden cross, right? The golden cross on the 26th of January. And ever since then, it continued its move to the upside. So it's well into its move. It had an initial move as people had started to realize, okay, this was starting to now get ready to cross over. And then it had a nice move. Now, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of golden crosses, but it's important to look at them at the same time. They are lagging measures, okay? Sometimes they only tell you what has already just happened. That's the way they work. Again, we go through all of this on the TA course, okay? I explain exactly moving averages, exponential moving averages, the EMA ribbon, all of it there. Please just go check it out so I don't have to repeat myself. Now, here's where it's interesting. Algorand on its chart has not produced its golden cross yet, but it's having the pre-run up. So again, let's rotate over across to Phantom, pre-run up here, and then the big move. Algorand is just in that pre-run-up. Now, that doesn't mean we're guaranteed to move. Phantom and the coins which move benefited from Bitcoin moving at the same time. But if Bitcoin was able to consolidate and go for its next move, things like Algorand have not had their move yet. So again, one of the tactics I use is go onto CoinMarketCap, sort by the 90-day move. I showed you this, I think it was in yesterday's video, how to do it, and look for the coins that have yet to move. Off the top of my head, things like Chainlink have yet to move, Polkadot have yet to move. There are various coins which haven't managed to have a big move. Even Avalanche hasn't moved. So we need to be looking at those. Cardano hasn't had its big move. In fact, let's look at the Cardano chart. Yep, not had their golden cross yet. Solana hasn't moved. Now, I know there's reasons which I've shared in my videos explaining why I'm not so happy about Solana, but they've not moved. You've got things like Aptos. Let's compare this to Aptos. Having a crazy moment, and yet something like Solana hasn't moved, even though it's got activity on the chain. Okay, look at Cosmos approaching its golden cross now. Chainlink yet to have theirs yet. They've not had much of a run up. They're having their pre-run up here a little bit, but they've not had their golden cross. So it's all going to culminate in whether the big daddy here in Bitcoin has its golden cross, and you can see it happening right now. But remember, it can want to come down, right? Bitcoin, it could just want to come down to have a retest around this kind of an area. And if it does, that's exactly where I want to be waiting at the EMA ribbon. Look how it tied in. Look how it tied in exactly with where the EMA ribbon is, ready to buy those pullbacks. That's what I want to be doing. I want to be buying on pullbacks, not chasing these moments here. That's not the business I'm in. I want to be buying those pullbacks, and that way I know I'm buying from positions of strength. So there you have it, guys. A crazy volatile day here today. And again, just more of what we expect going into this year. Markets are searching for data, searching for insights, trying to understand what is going on. Thankfully, Jerome Powell did not rug pull markets, and instead given his blessing that it's okay, we're doing well, inflation is coming down, disinflation has started, and I'm okay with the jobs figure. Don't worry about it. As long as wages don't get out of control and we keep bringing CPI down to the downside, we'll be heading towards a pause. He didn't say that bit, but I added that bit in for him. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash the likes. Don't forget to subscribe. Go check out these videos here, and I'll see you in the next one.